All right. Donna, you on? Mic unmuted for me.
Yes, I am on.
There you go. So we'll get started. 6:34. We a little bit behind CP time, but we here. We are here. Welcome, welcome, welcome everybody that is joining the live, beginning to join the live. We are super excited for what we have in store for you tonight. We not only want to promote our Black Mecca live shopping event, but we also want to celebrate the Black owned businesses that will be coming on with us this Black Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we have a special guest, which I can't wait to introduce everybody to. So just relax, get a pen and paper pad, all that good stuff, a glass of wine, whatever you do. And let's talk about entrepreneurship because that's what we're talking about tonight. So, entrepreneurship within our community is so important to me because it breaks the systematic barriers that helps us to build generational wealth. Black women currently own about 2.1 million businesses in the United States. That represents about 15% of all the women owned businesses. But what is our success rate? 20% of small businesses fail within the first year. 50% fail within the fifth year, and 10% fail after about 33% fail about at that 10-year mark. So it's super important to have platforms where we can bring light and visibility to brands. There's a lot of business out here that are failing because of lack of visibility, because they don't know that they exist. Let me backtrack. My name is Susanna Wallace, and I am the founder and CEO of Fro Butter. When I started my company back in 2014, there was a lot of shea butter brands that was out there. Our company was virtually invisible, and it took a lot of community involvement before people began to recognize our brand. This is why representation for me matters so much. And this is why we're on here today promoting this event and encouraging people to come out this Friday at 4 p.m. and shop these brands. We have 11 amazing brands all lined up. And my co host is the amazing Donna Moody, and I want to bring her on to the screen so she can introduce herself. She takes no introduction. She is the CEO and founder of Donna K Naturals, and she's also an amazing content creator. How you feeling today, Donna?
I am great. Thank you so much for having me. I can't wait to get into what we're about to get into tonight.
Yes, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. All about entrepreneurship.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So, how you feeling about this thing we got coming up on Friday?
I'm feeling really good because I feel like it's a way to give back. So many people just need just that little bit of exposure. So this would be something to let everybody know that, we're all in this together and we want to all win. And so just to be able to network with other brands and be able to give them the exposure that's needed and to collaborate, I think it's going to be, a great empowerment Black Friday.
I'm so happy that you said that because I say this all the time. There is this horrible stereotype and misconception that we don't support each other. I don't know
Absolutely.
where that comes from and who's pushing that narrative, but Black women support each other. Okay.
And
We're
we
not
do.
out here fighting and competing. I have a hair care brand, you have a hair care brand, and we're like, let's
Right.
do this and elevate other brands.
Right.
So I love that we can break those stereotypes because it's not true. It's
Hmm.
women are supporting each other. We are out here shopping each other's brands. So events like these are everything. I think your mic might be muted. There you go.
Yeah.
So you want to introduce the guest, or you want how you want to do this?
Sure. I will. All right, so I'm going to be reading, guys. So bear with me. I want to make sure I get it right because we do have a special guest on, and I know you are going to be excited about meeting the Nicole Nikki Ward. She is a notable public figure, a philanthropist, public speaker, and entrepreneur innovation expert. She has forged an impactful career dedicated to the betterment of others, initially climbing the ranks in the insurance industry to executive status. She later transitioned into entrepreneurship as the co-founder of the African American Women Trucking Association, okay, and a
Yes.
leader in the logistics sector. Nikki established the first nonprofit organization exclusively supporting African American women and women of color in trucking. Can we just take a moment right there?
I'm
Okay,
saying because we don't do stuff in trucking. Like, what is she doing?
I
About
listen.
barriers. She is breaking barriers, okay? Because
Yes,
we're so underrepresented, and she's making sure that all of that change.
yes. She's
Yeah.
actually serving on the Women of Trucking Advisory Board for the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, where she was elected as the chairman of the subcommittee, as she has been instrumental in influencing policies on diversity. In addition, Nicole's steadfast advocacy for women in trucking and entrepreneurship, she extends her influence as a BET talent. Nicole has recently lent her expertise to groundbreaking projects such as After Happily Ever After, excuse me, her um, showcasing, excuse me. Furthermore, in the 2023 BET LGBTQ Black and Iconic Sorority, I think I said that correctly. Did I say so? Wait a minute, that's not right. Sorority, I think
We
that's what it was.
yeah, we
Hopefully, I
got
said that correctly. She earned and mentioned, further solidifying her status as a respected figure in the entertainment industry. So she's been on BET, she's been on Roku TV, as I said before, Happily Ever After. Um, I think that was the situation. TRG, which was the Resource Guild. She's just been on everything. So I'm just ready to bring her in, and let's just welcome Miss Nikki Ward.
yes, let's bring her into the conversation. You heard that introduction? Unmute your mic for me.
Oh, so excited that I'm talking to myself. Hello, ladies. How you doing?
So happy to have you.
Thank you. And Donna, yes, girl, you did it. Soiree,
All
soiree.
right.
Listen, the point is, you worried. All
Listen.
right, all right, all right.
So, Nicole, what inspired you for entrepreneurship? What got you here? Because that rap sheet is extensive, and as an entrepreneur myself, I'm impressed at all that you've been able to accomplish. So, tip
Mhm.
my hat to you. But what inspired you for entrepreneurship to even begin with? What
Oh,
was your
well, first off, can I say thank you, ladies, for bringing me onto this amazing platform. You talked about a few things that I'm going to answer when you talked about systematic barriers and that we don't support each other and representation, right? So those
Mhm.
three things I just brought up, I'm going to answer the question. Each
Yeah.
one of them reminds me every single day that I had a purpose. So finding what that purpose is a very interesting ordeal. So Suzanne may know, but the new viewers and Donna, you don't know. Um, I come from a Jamaican background.
Okay.
So with that being said, I always say my family did a big one. They did a double dipping, right? So they had the opportunity to come to this amazing country called America, have a child, and say, "Oh no, she gonna go be raised back home, right? Have a child, raise me in a Jamaican culture." And if you know anything about Jamaica, right? You guys all remember Living Color. Some of you guys might be too young to ask your parents. But there was always this comedian, and he would say, "Boy, the Jamaicans have three jobs. You only have three jobs. You're lazy. She have 6 jobs and 10 jobs. Jamaicans work, man." And a lot of them, we have a very entrepreneurial spirit. A lot of us
Mhm.
don't know why we have the entrepreneurial spirit, but when I tell you we're resourceful, when I go back home, you see individuals building house out of nothing. If they see a piece of land that nobody has, these people will go build up a house, take electricity from the pole, draw the electricity to their house, and now they have currency in one particular area. The people are the most innovative people I've ever seen. Okay? And so with that, they come to this country and they use those same innovative skills and they tend to build forward. And that's exactly what I saw my parents do. Both of my parents are entrepreneurs. I come from a line of entrepreneurship. They're still entrepreneurs to this day. And I had the luxury of watching them come to another country and build themselves up with zero resources. So as an American, which is the luxury and the gift that my family has provided to me, is to be a natural born citizen of this country. I have to use the skills that I know, the upbringing that I know, the culture that I know, and use the US paperwork that I know, and build something. And so that was the thing, but build it with resources. And so America is full of resources. We don't even notice it living in this country, how amazing and fortunate we are that if we build it and we build it well, they will come. We do in other locations of the world, and I use Jamaica because that's what I know. We don't have that same. We're not always afforded that same opportunity. We don't have middle class. So because we don't have middle class, that takes people like you and I out the game here in America, where we can build something, take us out of that status and take us into somewhere else. And it's an amazing opportunity. So I can kind of go on, as you know, I'm a public speaker. I apologize, that 8 hours of work with me. But that was the start of having an opportunity to see two immigrant parents come to this country, bring and transition those skills, and turn around and say, hey, you're next, your turn, this, and that's that.
Listen, that resonated with me so much. Fela Yachty, you know.
Yes.
So as a Jamaican, and I was born in Jamaica, I came here at 15. Entrepreneur running our blood. Okay.
Right.
It's what I remember seeing my grandmother selling soap powder, peanut cake to the community. They didn't call it the big fancy name of entrepreneurship, but I grew up seeing it. You know, not many people. I can't remember one person that had a 9 to 5 in my family. We all did something that was entrepreneurial. So it's kind of who we are. But I love the fact that you touched on there is so much resources here that a lot of times is not capitalized on. When it comes, I don't think I would have been able to accomplish the things I've been able to accomplish back home like I did here, because there's so much opportunity here. So tell me about the foundation that you have, the Trucking Association, right? What is that about? And I know some about it because I've known you, but explain to the people what that's about and what is it that you do with that.
Well, thank you. That's one of the most important questions of my life. And who would have known that that would have been my life mission? Is to become the Martin Luther King of the trucking and logistics industry. And I almost have to repeat it because it's so powerful. Being the Martin Luther King of the trucking and transportation, waking up and having a dream, be able to fulfill the dream, others supporting and fueling that dream, has been a life and God-given purpose. And I think I'm thankful for it, without being too over the top. So I'm excited to present and talk about the first official trucking association that focuses on diversity, equality, and inclusion for African American women. And so that is such a big deal because we are not second and third generational truckers. Again, I woke up and I had a dream based on me failing forward and me taking resources and putting them under one umbrella. And so that afforded us the opportunity to sit on a federal board. So Donna, thank you for reading those accolades, because they're important to our community and people that look like us, because we're not allowed in these spaces. You look in a lot of these rooms and they don't have people in there that look like you and I. So remember I said one of those three things that resonated in my spirit and in my soul, Susan, when you said representation, man, I could holler, because that is why I created African American Women Trucking Association. I created a platform for individuals that face systematic barriers, that don't always have the opportunity, that may not know how to pull the resources that were made available. So I say that being from a different place is almost sometimes like a superpower. You have to come maneuver in foreign lands that you don't know anything about. And so now you have to figure out what a resource is and you hold on to it. And so the difference is we pass it on. And so now I love the group of Black women that are saying, whoa, whoa, whoa. It isn't just you guys do the Caribbean thing that love on each other. We love each other too. And I
Exactly.
love that. I love
Yeah.
that. We love each other.
See, everybody talk about the being a pave maker or creating that what do you call that? The one that create the path, right? But there's a lot of challenges doing that. What kind of challenges have you faced doing that? Because it's not easy to create something that hasn't been there before. I'm sure you faced a lot of adversity, a lot of people telling you no, not here. We can't fund that. What kind of challenges have you faced trying to do this, and how have you overcome those challenges?
Well, first in itself is the name. If the name doesn't tell you a lot about what it does, which is advocacy, support, community, strength in numbers, that's what this name, African American Women Trucking Association, says and what we represent. Our mission is to increase the representation of African American women and women of color in the trucking and transportation space. So imagine as we said that name and told individuals who have been in this space for hundreds of years. Remember, trucking has been around since before dog was a puppy. Okay.
Yeah.
And so with that, I'm coming in with a name that's so strong in an industry that they're just allowing certain opportunities to certain individuals and demographic. And people laughed and said, oh, okay. And it's so funny. I remember looking at them and said, laugh now.
Yeah, right. That part. Donna, did you have some questions for her?
Uh-oh, Donna girl, can't hear you, girl.
I think
And
your
I want to
phone
hear the question.
Okay. Can y'all hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
I'm gonna just I'll just wait. I just want to hear a little bit more.
No problem. Because I felt like I didn't answer the question completely. So that was great. With other challenges. So the name was a challenge, but it wasn't too much of a challenge because I talked about people laughing about the name. Second, something that you wouldn't think would have been a challenge, I'm going to talk about, is I'm first generation American. However, I do present myself for my culture. But I understand my culture being Jamaican. For anyone who just joined on, I'm a Jamaican first. I'm big on that. But I understand my superpower of being a hybrid is what I call it, right? I'm also an American. I was born in this country, this amazing country that's offering you resources that so many immigrants flock to provide and present the opportunities and utilize the opportunities. So people were confused. I created this company and I told them there's no confusion because we're all one. Let's stop it. Let's stop it, sister. So, sister, we're going to get together because guess what? When you see one ant in your house, you're not concerned. But if you see 25 ants, you say, oh my God, there's a problem. So what does that mean? I'm not saying we're ants. Ants could be pests. I'm saying when we band together 25, 35, 50, 2,500, 35,000, they see us. And that's all we got to do. And they see us. There's no separation right there. They see us. And so that's what we have to keep doing. We have to band together like ants and create a problem.
So hold on. Are you saying that you overcame it because of your mindset? Is that the challenge? How did you overcome the challenge of being the first? That heavy weight of being the first. How did you overcome it?
I would say definitely mindset and awareness. The awareness came in when it came down to understanding what the problems were. And there's many problems within our community because more obstacles, because obstacles could be overcome, right? And so I saw that there was my mindset could help with some of these obstacles that we face, just not in the community that looks like me, but in an industry that is so important to the supply chain of the United States of America. So I said, okay, we're going to take mindset and obstacles, create a solution. And Otto was born. I failed forward. I jumped into trucking, something I knew absolutely nothing about, understood that I wanted to help individual women that look just like me in the mirror. That's all I wanted to do is change the trajectory of women's life, make it where it's not so hard for us to progress, have the resources that we have, prove the stigma of we don't support each other incorrect, Make sure I put that in our face. Make sure I show that, listen, my sister comes over here, and the first thing we do is we say, well, what do you need? How can we help you? How can we make you better? We have meetings and education formats. We fight for advocacy, different policies. We wrote a 18 plus page excerpt for sexual assault, sexual harassment for women in the transportation and trucking space. And so, yes, we highlight African American, but we talk about women specifically because that's a power in itself. Man, we're sometimes forgotten about. One time we didn't have any rights. One time we couldn't vote. One time we couldn't be business owners. Man, and now we can do all of those things, especially when we bring it together.
Yeah. So I'm gonna take a quick commercial, but when I come back, I want to know about funding, because that's the elephant in the room that a lot of small businesses, which Donna, I know you don't like the word small, but a lot of businesses have to overcome, especially in your genre. How do you deal with getting funding and getting approved for funding? So we're gonna take a quick commercial and we'll be right back.
Oh, they don't want to
Hey
miss
friends, so this was the moment I took my braids out, honey, and I quickly grabbed my hair and body butter by Donna K Naturals. And look, honey, do you see the shine, the healthiness of the hair? This butter has some amazing ingredients. You got to get your hands on it. You can get it in a plain fragrance, peony, or vanilla. Listen, baby, you talk about a twist out, girl. Hey friends, so this was the moment I took my braids out, honey.
Okay, so technology is technology, but we here. So funding, how did you get past that part? How did you overcome that? What did you do? How did you find the right person to ask? How did you know how much to ask for? Give us the detail, because a lot of businesses don't know how to get funding. What advice do you have for them when it comes to that?
Man, I almost have to become serious because you mentioned some stats. And I hope even if you just joined, you'll go back and you'll listen to the replay, because those stats are important. Why businesses do not survive. Funding is the number one reason. Man, that amazing ideas and amazing businesses die. And it's because we don't have the funding. It's not because we're not smart or we can't build it. It's the revenue that it takes to build every business. And when I talk about failing forward, I lost the first business. That's what helped me into this business. I lost the trucking company, almost lost everything I had behind it. And so that was one of the reasons why having this nonprofit was so important, because I failed forward and I wanted to help others. Now, let me fast forward. Donna read some accolades and she read my bio. And part of that bio talked about me being in the insurance industry. So what does insurance and trucking have in common? They have policy, they have compliance, and they also have very large numbers. Okay. And so I come from an industry that's all about numbers, policy, numbers and policy and compliance. All of them push one another. So my last hurrah in corporate America, which allowed me to enter the entrepreneurial space, was working for a startup. Was started as a startup tech company. And so if you had an opportunity to look me up or look at my LinkedIn, it was called an InsurTech. An InsurTech, for those of you that don't understand what that is, that's the old school insurance taking a new school approach and using technology and putting them together, meaning we don't have a building. You get to do all your quotes online. You're talking to robots. And it's really, really great environment that a lot of companies have transitioned to. So when you talk about tech and you talk about startup, one of the things people don't talk about is something called venture capitalist. All right. And so you might hear the word VC thrown out a lot, and how I can put that into a picture for most people is Shark Tank. If you ever watch Shark Tank, those individuals are like investors or venture capitalists, and they see small businesses or they see startups, right? Because I heard Donna doesn't like the word small business, and I agree. But startup, because we want to get ourselves out of those lanes. We enter from small business into the startup lane, and startup is going to allow you the opportunity for individuals that are venture capitalists that are looking, private VCs that are looking to make sure they invest in your business, right? So they want to invest in startups. So that's the only reason. Small business too, but we want to use it. I love the word small business. But startup. And so when you're talking with a venture capitalist, you're talking to them about what's going to make your business big, because they're giving you money. They're giving you money to get to the next level. Now, a lot of people don't understand how you get to a venture capitalist. And so there's a few different ways depending on your business, and tech companies tend to have it all day. If you add any type of technology, even if you have your own app, you should be looking in that lane. But in addition to that, you should also be looking in the grant lane. And I'll talk about how both of those correlate with my nonprofit. And so the grant lane, if you can write a grant, you can write a proposal for a startup. And why are those important? Because there are private grants that are interested in your idea, that understand if they can become a part, because nothing is for free. If they can become a part, I'm just saying that nothing is for free. And if they can have a percentage of your business and they can see the direction and how it's going to benefit whoever that demographic is that they have interest, they're going to want to invest into your business, whether it's through venture capitalists or as a venture capitalist or through a private grant. And so fast forward with my nonprofit, which so many of us have, we think that we have to have $1 million in the bank. Well, guess what? Remember I talked about failing forward? I didn't have much of anything left. I had bought trucks cash. I'd retired from corporate America that I worked at from the time I've been 15 years old. And I was, 35 at the time. Every dollar, every cent was almost gone. I purchased a home. I had 3 semis. I had employees. It was bad. So in my mind, there was no money to start another business. But what I did have a talent, I had passion, I had an idea that was structured. And I remembered those good old days of how I was able to gain capital with venture capitalists. And I started to look into private venture capitalists and private funding, which are private grants. And so for startup businesses, and people were saying, I thought that wasn't out there. Oh, it's out there. You just got to look for it, or you just have to know the right connection. Hence the power of collaboration. You just need to tap into the right community, tap into the right girlfriend, tap into the right sister, and they're going to lead you to the path of righteousness. And that's what happened. So I'm led to this path, but I already have the knowledge of how to obtain money. And so I started to look for grants, and our first grant is what helped us structure our nonprofit. Remember, I didn't have any money.
That's a good answer. That was a good answer and a lot of good information. And I feel like a lot of people needed to hear that information, because grants are normally, when you talk about grants, you think about nonprofits only. You don't think about the for-profit businesses that will qualify for that kind of opportunity. So I love that you tied that in. What advice do you have for people that they have this business, they've been toying with the idea, they probably even started and failed, like you mentioned before that you experienced? What kind of advice would you give an entrepreneur that's in that space where they're about to try again, but they're not sure where to start?
This is one of my favorite questions, because when I talk about strength in numbers, and I use that example of ants, man, my sisters or my brothers, you got to connect. You got to get involved in the community. It's strength in numbers. I love that you two ladies have the same type of feel, and you guys are doing this together. You have a product line, and it didn't matter. Like, you got a product line, I got a product line. Okay, we're gonna come together and do a product line. Let's do something. Get out here and pull our audiences together, because that's where it's going to be important. Tap into your industry. I don't care if you make bubble gum, if you make cupcakes. Tap into the other cupcake ladies that bake cupcakes. Maybe I'll do a cupcake sale, because guess what? You might know somebody who don't like your cupcakes, and they don't want to tell you, but they get into that arena and they might like your sisters, and that person might not like their cupcakes, and vice versa. But y'all brought y'all community together, and it's okay. It's okay, y'all. That's what I love. And that's one of the things about my trucking association. we're built on two separate mottos. Our mottos are built on our membership, but also built on we have a business entrepreneurial marketplace. In addition to us being the first trucking association that focuses on diversity, equality, and inclusion, we have a marketplace that we don't care if you have a gas station that can provide a cup of coffee to our drivers. We're putting you on there, black, yellow, red, and white, your precious suicide. And we're excited. So even you two individuals, ladies, we would love to have you guys on the marketplace, because this is a community that we are building, and it takes us to do it together. And that's the only way that we're going to gain the visibility that we need, is to band our resources together. Man, we don't got no money. I'm not saying we as individuals. We're talking about our community. And coming from a place like Jamaica, Susan, we did not know we were entrepreneur, because there's a Sky Juice, like a guy who has eyes. What do you call
A
it?
vendor that just walk down the street and sell juice.
Sells different things. I mean, it's a bartering system. Is something that our African ancestry started with. We didn't have the money back then either.
Yes.
So we can do this. We can get together in one room without the money. And can you write? Oh, good. Can you read? Oh, good. Can you Google? And now come together and figure out some resources how we can write for a grant. And one thing that's super important is, in spaces where you guys have for-profit businesses collaborating with nonprofits, which is what I allow my affiliates to do, to be able to gain access to different revenues. So that is also a key part of this life, ladies.
That community piece, that key part, community, right? Because that's where your help is going to come from. A lot of what I've been able to accomplish has been through the work of working with someone else. It's not a solo mission. If you try to do it alone, a lot of time it take a lot longer, and you fail halfway there because you burn out and exhausted, and you don't know what you don't know. So
That's
being
right.
able to sync up with someone else and have that sense of community is everything. And Donna, what is your experience with that? Because I know I can speak from my point of view, but maybe that's not it for everybody. What has it been like for you with the whole community piece?
It's been great. I think, like you touched on a lot of good things. You can't do it alone. You have to get to a point where, collaboration and networking is key. Um, and not feel intimidated. A lot of times you may have other brands that are intimidated by other brands, and then that's where you can't work together. But when you come together, it's a powerful movement, and it's not just a temporary movement, but it's like a movement that can catapult you to the next level. And so just this right here tonight, this is an example of, we're all in the marketplace. We're all doing something either the same or different. But when we collaborate and come together, we can expand the audience. We can give them the information that is needed along with product. It's just a big movement. So for me, it is very important. It is very important. And I'm thankful and grateful for an opportunity as tonight, just to show others that we can come together, that we do need one another. And there may be things that I don't know that you've already been through. And instead of me trying to go all the way down the road, down around the corner, I can just come to you and just cut to the chase. And so that's what we all have, resources that we've all tapped into. And if we utilize them together, then we can be a whole lot further, instead of wasting, I wouldn't say wasting, but kind of wasting time because we don't want to collaborate, but definitely work together so that we can move forward and get to our final destinations. So yes, very important.
Listen, you not only waste time, you waste money, you waste
Yes,
energy. It takes energy to do things wrong. It takes energy to try and fail. Every time you try to do something and then you fail, that takes a toll on your mental health, which
absolutely.
segues and set me up for my next question. Mental health. How do you balance this space and that space being an entrepreneur? I'm gonna go a quick commercial again and then come back to it, but I want to hear about that because a lot of us are struggling out there. They don't know how to balance that mental health aspect and having to put themselves out there on social media to promote the brand, look for funding, trying to collaborate, and still get their mind together. So I'm gonna take a quick commercial and come right back to you. What's your experience been being a part of the Entrepreneurs Reach Back program?
It's been a blessing. I can say this, you can only go so far by yourself. You're not gonna go to your full potential. You're gonna have to start incorporating other people, and you're gonna have to get incorporated in other agencies and other programs. So what it has done, it has taught me that it lightens up the load where you can be creative, because a lot of entrepreneurs, they start with the idea, and a lot of entrepreneurs are creative. So just to have to be part of something that can handle somewhat of the logistics for you and represent you well, it just lightens up the load, it clears your mind, and it gives you and allows you to be more creative and do what you do best. So it has been a blessing, must I say.
So mental health, let's get into it. How do you balance that mental health aspect and grow your business all at the same time? How do you deal with that? Because I know as a woman, as a mother, how do you bring those two worlds together?
I think that's like an important question because as mothers and wives and spouses, and I mean, man, as women, we wear so many hats because we have so many responsibilities, which are, most people, little people, especially little people within our household, they depend on us. And we don't want to fail our little people in our house. We don't want to fail our family. We definitely, most importantly, don't want to fail ourselves. I can tell you that I'm terrible at getting sleep, but when I do sleep, I'm serious about it because I take naps. People laugh at me, right? So I nap throughout the day. I always have a nap because I am the boss of my schedule. I go very hard early and I stop in the middle of my day and I take a nap. I also, first thing I found to be extremely important is not to pick my cell phone up the first thing that I wake up, the first minute I wake up. I found that I needed to allow myself to relax, meditate a minute, just thank the universe that I made it to the next day. Like I made it. Just think about positive things. And I just start visualizing my day. I found at least to take 30 minutes to do that before I pick up this device because I found that the device can change and alter my mood depending on what's going on. I have a ton of text messages always coming in. Everybody wants, you to be somewhere, and you have, I live on a calendar. So for my sanity is to start my day that way and be consistent with my schedule. That allows me to have like a better, keep a better headspace, I would say. So I'm not driving myself crazy trying to move around. Even when it came down to doing TV, being, the show, after the show aired, it had us running, promoting the show. And I still had my own business to promote in the meantime. But I'm like, man, I got to use this opportunity and I got to figure out a schedule. So scheduling, I think, is key. I don't answer the phone before 10:30. I have no meetings before 10 a.m. I am up, but I'm doing paperwork. Like I have a very structured schedule, and that's so that I don't lose my mind just because I have so many different things that I'm leveraging at one time.
That's really good. I mean, some people don't have the ability to be the boss of their own schedule. So for the 9 to 5ers that still have the entrepreneur energy and still running their own business, what's your advice on how to navigate that world?
Man, I corporate hustled for many, many years. And so what that corporate hustling means to me is I worked my 9 to 5 because that's what I needed to pay my bills and to fuel my business. And then I got off work and I started again. And that was my job. I never let my 9 to 5 outdo what I was planning to build. There wasn't a day I did not touch my business. And I used the weekend instead of relaxing to focus the most on my business. So I would gear up, okay, because I knew I only had realistically 6 to 1 a.m. I made those sacrifices, and I did that for many, many months. many, many months, sometimes I would say almost years, where because I've had to go back into corporate America as an entrepreneur, which is okay. Sometimes we've had to reset that way, and that's okay. And that's a whole nother conversation. And what I've had to just say, okay, that's my mindset. However, this is my goal. So I'm gonna give y'all these 8 hours, honey. But don't you best believe 15-minute breaks and any downtime I had that wasn't stealing company time, because we don't want to steal company time. I was promoting my business because that was important to me. And I think that's how we should build as entrepreneurs. I do not believe in this, oh, you got to struggle in this life, and that's how you prove you're an entrepreneur. That's the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life. You better keep that job. You better go back into a place of employment if you can to fuel these dreams. We talk about earning income. If you could work to do it and flip the income to fuel your business, that's what you should be doing.
Listen, there is no shame in that. I have definitely went into a corporate job to get some inventory and then checked out. You got to do what you got to do. I mean, as a mother of 4, and at that time I was a single mother of 4, there have been many times I've had to play both worlds. But at the end of the day, like you said, what's the most important to you? You got to make time for what's important to you. And that's all there is to it. But there is no shame of doing both. I don't know why people feel like you got to stick to a lane, but if you got to do both, honey, go and do both and get your money. Okay, because either way, it's a source of income, and you're doing what you have to do, and you know where your head is, and you know where you're trying to go.
That's right.
And real quick, just to add, during that time, that's what they call hustle mode. So you're not going to be able to sleep because you got a goal. You got to go pay your bills, and you building a business. So it's team no sleep during that time too. Okay. Well, I gotta add that.
Don't let that make you fall out of the race because you're tired. I see so many entrepreneurs, because one of my thing is I also help to mentor and coach entrepreneurs. I see so many of them fall out of the race because they're tired, they're overwhelmed, they feel like they can't keep going because their 9 to 5 is sucking all the energy. You got to find that energy. You got to balance that thing. You got to remember your why. Why are you doing this? Why are you starting? Remember, it's not selfish. It's self-care. Find moments to feed your spirit, but then get back to work. Because at the end of the day, if this is what you want, then you're going to have to put the work in, because nobody is out here giving anybody anything for free.
That's right.
You got to work for it. So I love this. I really love this conversation because people don't talk about this enough. Yeah.
There's like this weird stigma about if you say entrepreneur, you can't attach chasing your dreams with some type of employment next to it. I don't like that stigma, especially it's even worse in the entertainment industry. Not calling at anyone's name, but if you decide to work, what? Are you kidding me?
You're not a real entrepreneur.
Stop that. I'm gonna stop that. That's not true.
Know where you are.
What'd you say, Donna?
I said, and know where you are, because I think I'm so glad that you touched on that, because it's reality, and we have to stop trying to paint this picture. And that's what happens when people do step out in entrepreneurship and things start going left. They don't see what we're talking about tonight. They only see the glitz and the glam and the red carpet and the bright lights and the cameras and everything going good. So that makes them want to, quit immediately, give up immediately. They don't understand. They don't know how to budget. None of these things start going into place because, again, reality is what it is. But society makes us think, as you said before, just because we do have a 9 to 5, oh, you're not an entrepreneurship, you must be broke, your business doing bad, so you had to go to work. They automatically think that, and it's not that. If you need to do that, do it until you can do without it, and it's okay.
Yeah, don't let your dream die because you're worried about what other people may say. I'm not gonna let my dream die because of funding. Because, we talked about, that was one of the things we talked about, funding, right? So if you can self-fund, you're in a better position than somebody who got a loan. You don't owe anybody. You don't owe anybody. You own your business. Let me tell you something. I ate ramen noodles and jumped on a red carpet many a nights and nobody knew. And that's just I'm just
That's
being honest.
real.
Nobody, and they're not supposed to know. You go
That's
do
right.
do what you gotta go do to fuel your dreams. And if that's a source of fun, if you could self-fund, you really won. That's who really
Mhm.
won. You don't owe
Mhm.
nobody. That's your stuff.
I know
There
that's
you
right.
go. I love that. This was good. This was great,
Mhm.
y'all. Like, I'm gonna have to do the replay and save it on, and I hope people really tune in because there was a
Mhm.
lot of gems and jewels. So I just got one final question for you because I don't want to take up too much of your time. But what is one thing that you wish you would have known when you first started? Just
Mm.
one thing that you wish you would have known.
I would honestly say the words that I've used all 2024 to manifest everything that's in existence currently, and that is strength in numbers. I wish I had the mindset to collaborate a lot sooner and not be in a place as an entrepreneur that I can do this alone, because man, people need people to win,
Yes.
and we
Yeah.
need one another. So that would be it.
Mm. That's good advice.
Donna, what's your one thing?
My one thing would be um, just to believe in myself in the beginning. I think in the beginning I was trying to come in comparing myself and trying to do what I thought that everybody wanted, me to do or to hear me say and then once I tapped into who I really was and what God has placed on the inside of me, then I started to flourish. So I would say in the beginning, don't ever doubt yourself. Just believe in yourself from the beginning and be confident about it. Because guess what? Everybody that has something to say about what you do and how you do it, most of the time are the same ones that are just sitting back watching.
Yes.
So just be confident in, what God gave you and go for it.
Yeah, I love that. All of y'all, one thing I wish I would have heard that when I started. My one thing is really just defining words for myself. People
Mm.
define words like success, entrepreneur. It's relative. And we're
Mhm.
not taught that. We're taught
Mhm.
that there's one way to success. Entrepreneur looks like this. Self-made look like this. Redefining those terms for myself changed my entire life, changed my
Mm,
entire business because now I'm not living up to your idea of success. I'm
that's
living up to my own success. And there was a point in my life where I realized I don't want to have a multi-million dollar business. I'm good with just serving my community and being able to set up the life that I want. That's my version of success. Everybody's version of success is different. And the years that I spent chasing what success looked like for other people, I burnt myself out. I burnt
Yeah.
right.
myself out to where I didn't even want to have my business anymore because
Wow.
I was trying to chase their dreams instead of
Mm.
chasing my own. So that's the one thing I wish I would have known is just to really define my idea of success and what
Mhm.
that looks like for me and
Mm.
then go from that place. So,
That was deep. That was
That
I
was.
I love what you just said, especially that defining what it looked like for me. I think that just resonated with my soul because there's no comparison. Like you should not compare your business to others. Like
Mhm.
what does it look like for you?
Mhm.
Building
mm,
are you building this for you, or are you building this for community? What is the end goal for this for you? And so,
yeah,
thank you so much for sharing that and bringing me on to share mine. And hopefully, I was able to inspire another woman who, like you said, wanted to give up or felt like she couldn't work in a job to fuel her dreams. Hopefully, we were able to inspire some woman,
Mhm.
or man, or whoever, just
anybody that feels like they need it. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. So, where can people find you and what you got going on? What do you want people to know? What do you want to promote? Leave us with
Well,
something.
thank you, thank you. Well, I talked a lot about ATA, African American Women Trucking Association. You can find us at aawta.org. Yes, .org, because we are a 501c3. That means we are a real nonprofit. All right. So www.aawta.org. And we are AAWTA_org on all social media platforms. We have a lot of amazing things going on. We're creating opportunities for drivers, for owner operators. In addition to that, we have our marketplace where we're bringing small, big, large, whatever you have, organizations all under one umbrella. We have major corporations that now know some of the local businesses here in Atlanta because they're under one marketplace. I want to invite you ladies to that. In addition, we are African American Women Trucking Association. We're celebrating our second annual The Power to Drive Change fundraising gala, and that's here in Atlanta. So you ladies both have a special invitation. Susie came last year. We're excited. We'd love for you guys to just come and embrace just all the love that we want to give you from that side, from one entrepreneur to the next. In 2025 is coming up, so I'm going to do more TV because I absolutely missed it. I put it down so I can grow my baby this year, and I didn't put it down. I'm still hitting the red carpets, but I decided not to pull away because, as you know, it takes a lot, and so it was important for us to be in spaces like this and not be behind the scenes right now. But yeah, we're gonna amp that up. I am also on social media as I am the Nicole, right? And you can find me on Google. I'm all over the internet. I'm all on the internet. So y'all Google your girl accolades and everything. And so make sure you follow me. 2025 will be going a lot more coaching and consulting for small businesses, exclusively nonprofits, because that's a space that a lot of us are in but don't know how to utilize. So excited about that venture and just having an opportunity to really tap in with other entrepreneurs and help them grow their business.
I love that. Thank you so much for being on and taking the time to come and talk to our people. We appreciate that. We appreciate your energy. We appreciate everything about you, the work that you do, both selfless and everything that you exude, girl. We are here for it, and we so appreciate you. For everybody watching, please come back out and join us this Black Friday at 4 p.m. on our social media pages as we are helping to promote 11 amazing brands. And Donna, can you help me find our list of brands so we can shout them out before we end this live?
I sure can.
And while you take a minute to do that, I'm going to say goodbye to Nicole, and I'm going to jump over to a commercial break. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ladies. Love. Bye, guys.
Much love. All right.
Bye.
All hair deserves the best possible treatment. Each individual strand, every last curl. It all deserves Fro Butter, the hair treatment that adds instant moisture for softer hair from the very first use. All natural ingredients encourage hair growth. Handmade to order for premium quality, always. And it works on both wet and dry hair, so you can apply it whenever, however. Show your hair you care with Fro Butter. Your hair says, thank you.
All right. You back on?
I am on.
Let me level our screens up. All right. So want to give a quick shout out to our brands that will be with us on Black Friday.
Absolutely. So on Black Friday, we're going to have New Hair Growth, LLC. We're going to have Crown Paint Colors. We will have 93 Whole Leaf Style. We're going to have Danny Girl Skin Food, Black Souls, LLC, Purposeful Play Learning Academy. We will have Ami Wellness and Counseling. We're going to have Try Distinction, Food Fit Fro, Christmas in Color, Okaden Baby Company. We're going to have Donna K Naturals, and we're going to have Fro Butter. So you do not want to miss this Friday, Black Friday sale, because these businesses have took the time out to give special discounts for all of you for shopping with them. So please take advantage of this Black Friday shopping with all of these beautiful businesses.
And listen, guys, we really need your support. Everybody is shopping on Black Friday. We know that it's the biggest shopping event of the year.
But Black-owned
businesses need your support as well. a lot of these companies are struggling to survive, and they have amazing brands. Like, have you seen the jewelry from Try Distinction? I mean,
Yes, I have a
amazing.
couple pieces, and they
I'm
are amazing.
There is no reason why as a community we can't rally together and support each other. So
Mhm.
please come out and support these brands, come out and shop, share in whatever capacity that you can, and we look forward to seeing you. Thank you for coming on to this live. Thank you for supporting us, and we appreciate it
Absolutely.
all right, so until what, 2 more days? What's the
2 more
countdown?
days.
2 more
2 more
days.
days.
See y'all in 2 more days. Bye.